Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Old Man Rambles. Now, trying to organize my thoughts a little bit better. I recently watched a video interview of Emma Watson with Jay Shetty's podcast. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but this interview is apparently a couple of months old. I don't know why it came across my feed. I wasn't looking for anything related to the actress or any of the parts that she's played. For some reason, it popped up in my feed. And it intrigued me, so I watched it. And I thought that she was very articulate. She seemed very intelligent, very sincere. And I enjoyed the interview. I enjoyed listening to her talk about things, about how she talked about the difficulties in working on films post Harry Potter, primarily in the fact that her experience in Harry Potter was a familiar relationship. They worked in the same actors and same film crews that she worked with for 12 years, and they were all close because they worked together for so long, and she expected that same relationship in other sets, and it wasn't like that. But I'm getting off topic because that's not what I wanted to address. During the interview, Jay Shetty asked Emma Watson to comment on her feelings about a certain author. And I thought Emma Watson's response was very empathetic, very compassionate, very understanding, and very, very open. She basically expressed, just because she's disagreed with the author, and even though the author has said that she will never forgive Emma Watson for the comments that she's made, Emma says she remains open to a dialogue. She's like, I had a good experience with this person when I made the films, and I don't think that, just because I disagree with them doesn't mean that relationship has to, not exist anymore. And that she would always be open to a dialogue and a conversation. And like I said, I thought it was a very thoughtful, very compassionate and understanding and well constructed response. I was very impressed by it. But then the author had to respond on Twitter. The author made a 700-word response on Twitter, which I refuse to call by the name Elon Musk gave it. And I disagree with probably around 90% of what was said in the response to Emma Watson. The gist of it was that Emma Watson is an ignorant, self-entitled brat who has no idea what she's talking about, and that she was publicly critical of the author at the time when they were under death threats and worried about their family security. So Emma doesn't get to be a spokesperson and doesn't get to ask for forgiveness and cannot expect it. She's ignorant of how ignorant she is the phrase that's been running around. And I find the author's response to be very contemptuous. It shows no empathy, no care, no concern for anyone's feelings but her own. She is completely disregarding Emma Watson's thoughts, concerns, or feelings. It is all about how the author feels and no one else. The author has made it plain that the thing she regrets most about the making of those films was Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint, because they have publicly disagreed with her and said they don't agree with her stance on trans rights, and that they think she is wrong. And because of the timing in which the criticism was made, she will never forgive them. And I will not forgive the author. In case you haven't noticed, I'm refusing to speak that author's name, and will continue to do so. I don't think they deserve the attention. I don't think they deserve any recognition or any more of my time than is absolutely necessary to make this video or any other comment videos I might make about them. But that is not all of what this was about, because like an idiot, I looked at comments, which I know I shouldn't do. I should not do that. Because the comments about Emma Watson were truly vile. The people who are defending the author and taking a similar stance against Emma Watson, they were appalling. Things were said that I found disgusting. And these are the people who support the author. These are the people who defend the author. These people who make vile, disgusting comments about a stranger, who speaks very eloquently and very compassionately. These people are not good people. And just having to wade through the author's response and the comment section has enraged me. It really has. I know I've spoken about this previously, but I am really unhappy with the human race right now, and have been for several months. Things like this don't help. Regardless of whether or not you think Emma Watson's stance about trans people is wrong, whether you think she was wrong to criticize the author or the manner in which she criticized the author, nothing deserves that kind of contempt or vulgarity as a response. Nothing. There are things I wouldn't say against. These are things I wouldn't say about, anyone, no matter their crime. And I'm not a very nice person. I'm not. I keep a lot of the rage and anger bottled up inside of me. I put on a pleasant face, but I have a lot of suppressed rage. I really, really do. And yeah, I wouldn't, I can't say I wouldn't say all of it, but, I tend to reserve the worst of my responses to people who are truly awful. Not someone who is guilty of maybe making a bad comment once in a while. And even then, I'd probably think twice about saying something bad. I mean, I've matured. I probably would have said something like this when I was 25 and stupid. And maybe these people are 25 and stupid. But I really can't understand this level of blind vitriol against someone for just disagreeing with you and thinking you're wrong. And the vitriol the vitriol poured against her in support of the person she disagreed with. It's just mind-boggling and infuriating. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. I recommend watching the interview. Look up Jay Shetty and Emma Watson. It is a good interview, and like I said, I think she was very, very articulate and very well spoken. Yeah, that's all. Good hunting.